Let's make some money.
Arsenal Works are going to announce a new game at Anime Expo. A new game at Anime Expo. What could it possibly be? Anime games, what I'm thinking, right? But like Monger is saying, they made a huge deal out of, okay, we're going to make different types of games now. That's what their whole last presentation was about. People were like, oh, can't wait for the next fighting, can't wait for the next fighting game. It was a bunch of non-fighting games like Damon and Baby. This is the next one to talk about. David Baby 2. David and Baby Accent Core Plus R. That shit would be fire, bro. I actually want to see what the third Blood Edge actually fights like. Because he's Ragnar, but lost his memories. He lost his weapon. He lost his Blaze Blue. He doesn't have anything he had before. So I actually do want to see how he fights like. I know this is a joke, but maybe in Guilty Gear Strive we'll get him as DLC and we'll see how he actually fights like. But like the same, right? Of course, me, I'm gonna get my hopes up for no reason at all, even though it's like, dude, this is most likely not gonna be anything that crazy, right? It's a new anime, like Anime Expo. Dude, what comes to mind first? Of course, is Dragon Ball Fighters, and if it's anything like Dragon Ball Fighters, that is gonna be a crazy game. Right? That's all people immediately see here. Arcs and Works and anime, and they're like, oh, this is gonna be something crazy. Right? But this is I want to put this first because this is what makes the most sense. What Monger is saying. They're trying to diversify their games, so it's a strong chance it's not even a fighting game at all. There's a good chance going to this. It's not even a game you can. We're looking for nothing like fighters at all. It's not even a fighting game, like Damon and Baby. But I got that once again, right? What we'll see, also we're trying to make our games more than just fighting games. We're trying to do a lot more than just fighting games. Oh, we're gonna make a new game on Anime Expo with their villain. People like, whoa, what is this? This is Naruto fighter. And that's like the post, right? Arsenal Works creates a Guilty Gear. They're gonna announce a new video game, and people got out the Naruto poster. This is like one of the most popular ones. People will be like, oh shoot, it's gonna be Naruto. I don't think it's gonna be Naruto. Naruto has not really. I talked about this in a lot, like the other Naruto videos. I do not think Naruto really getting anything right now with the way they're doing stuff. Especially if it's Naruto, it's like Boruto at this point. Trying to believe by Dato Doya because of this post. I do not think it's gonna be Naruto. That'd be really interesting if it does end up being a Naruto game, right? I can't be anything but hype if it's something like a huge anime fighter, but I just I don't know. I don't have a lot of hope for it happening, especially after the last presentation where they just showed up with like they didn't know what we were getting into, and they're like, "Oh, we're not really going for fighting. We want to go more for like different types of games to like diversify our games now." So now I have like a picture of what they want to do. I'm not really sure if I can put my exit to it actually being a fighter, right? But if it's a fighter, if it's a fighting game and a fighting game, right? I would think it'd be something like Blaze. I said this before. This kind of feels like deja vu. It would probably be Blaze Blue. So what they would go for if they're making a new game. I don't know if they make a new anime game. That takes a lot more work to have it work out. Probably doubt they're now something like Naruto, but it really could be whatever they could get their hands on, whatever they do get their hands on. But it does for me, right? I keep saying I think it makes more sense to be kind of something closer to home if they do a new game. But I just the stuff like this is so interesting to talk about, right? Whenever Arsenal Works a new game comes up, people start freaking out. People start going rabid because this is a crazy thing. This is crazy to have happening to have a new Arsenal Works game coming, right? I just I know like I'm talking about it not being a fighting game, but my biggest hope is that it is a fighting game. Even if it's something completely new, it has nothing to do with like Bleach, nothing to do with Naruto, nothing to do with One Piece, nothing to do with Yu-Gi-Oh, nothing to do with any anime at all. I would still, even nothing to do with even Blaze Blue or Guilty or nothing like they worked for before. If it's completely new and like a new anime fighter, I just think it'd be incredibly interesting to see because the way Arc Wars is moving, they could definitely make something completely new. I said this before too. If Arsenal were to make something completely new, because they really done like everything you can really do for 2D. I hope they go for a 3D game. Let's make a new 3D series. They could do something crazy with that. But at least we'll see. I'm really interested to see what it ends up being. Until I see it's not a fight again, I'll lose interest, I guess. But I like David and Baby because it had Ragnar in it. That's like the only reason. It had Ragnar. It had some Guilty Gear characters who like I guess got taken out of existence. I had Happy Chaos, had Eno from the story. Afterwards, you kind of get to see the aftermath. First time it's like really crossing over like that for Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear, I think. So that's why the most interesting thing for me was to see Ragnar after all that time, like the story gets to continue a little bit. I just want to see him in the like I want to see more of him. So I feel like David Baby came out. They talked about him a little bit. They kind of like faded away a little bit. I need to see him like in a fighting game. Right? I need to see him actually fighting around. Right? That would be fire. Even though it's not Ragnar, I think that could really be interesting if they beef up what he does in the game. Like I don't really know what he's doing David Baby though.